Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Chelsea. I create content about my lifestyle, motherhood, cleaning, and organizing. In today's video, it's going to be a little different than my typical video. We are going to be talking about my 2021 realizations and my 2022 intentions for this year. I don't really want to use New Year's resolutions. This is the only time that I'll be saying that in the video, because there tends to be a lot of kind of negativity associated to that and failure when you don't do what you set out to do. And I also don't really want to use the word goals, although I love goals and I love the idea of goals, but for myself, I know that I tend to be a little bit rougher on myself when I don't meet the expectations that I set for myself. So instead of goals, I'm going to use the word intentions. And then just some things that I realized in 2021 about myself that I kind of came to some good realizations about, and then what intentions I want for 2022. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever drink you guys have and we'll get started. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is my 2021 realizations from last year. I noticed some things about myself and I kind of felt the need to share, I guess, with you guys, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who came to some realizations about myself personally, and of course these are going to change from person to person, but I just kind of felt like sharing. And I know that when I watch YouTube videos, lots of times the people that I end up being attracted to are very realistic and very honest on their channel, which I very much appreciate, and it makes me feel like I'm not alone. I think a lot of people kind of associate that the stuff that they're going through or the things that they're struggling with, we as people, I think, feel like we're the only ones, and we never are. And I think we really know that on a different level, but in the moment, we're very much, oh, I'm the only one. And it's hard for us to see outside of that in the moment of our struggles. But I did realize last year that there are certain foods that I like and there are certain foods that I don't. And I came to more of a realization of it because 6 to maybe 8 years, I've changed a lot of the way that I'm eating. But more especially in the last 3, I've gone a lot more plant-based than I used to eat. And 6 years ago, I was, well, bread is bad and sugar is bad and things like that, where I had kind of these beliefs or these like tags on things where I associated this food is good and this food is bad. And I knew then that there was a balance of it, but I really realized that this last year, that there is a balance with finding those foods that you like that work for you. Just because another person or another friend or another workout coach or somebody else on a YouTube channel says that they have oatmeal every morning does not mean that you have to have oatmeal every morning if you don't like oatmeal. So there are certain things with certain foods that I realized about myself this year that I'm just kind of going with the flow. And if I don't like those foods, I'm really not buying those foods. And I'm trying to find other things that I do like. And kind of going along with that, going with the flow of the food cravings that I have. I tend to be more of an emotional eater, so when I get upset or frustrated, I first of all overeat a little bit, and then I want those comfort foods. I want pasta or bread or it's not even so much that I'm craving those, but those feel like it's easier to make for myself when I'm feeling frustrated than making a salad or making a smoothie or making a soup, or something like that that is going to be probably more healthy for me in the regard that it's got more fruits and vegetables in it and more whole foods, which is the direction that I'm wanting to go with my eating. So with that, going with the flow of my food cravings is something else that I realized last year, as well as kind of like intuitive eating. Now, I know that there's a lot of kind of hype behind that word. It's not really talked about how to become an intuitive eater, but I think it takes a long time. A lot of the people who say, well, just intuitively eat, well, they've been counting calories or weighing their food or measuring out their food for a long time. And so they know, kind of off the bat, how much a handful of nuts is or how much 6 ounces of steak is, or they kind of know that stuff. So it it's a lot easier for them to intuitively eat because they've been counting calories and watching what they've been eating for so long that now it is a second nature. I want to kind of move in that direction a little bit more. And I mean, I noticed those things about myself, so I'm kind of trying to go with the flow of that a little bit more. The other things that I realized about myself this year, I started my YouTube channel at the very beginning of September, and then I switched channels, and I was really stressing about getting a video out every week and what content I'd create, and then I got behind and I had major technical difficulties with my computer and then with my camera, and so it was kind of like one thing after another, and I was really feeling discouraged. And then we were on vacation, and so things kind of got crazy, and I really wasn't posting a whole lot, and I was stressing about it so much. And so I said, you know what, that's enough. Yes, I want to create content on YouTube and I want to do that, but I'm not going to stress about getting out a video every week, although I'm working on doing that and that's what I would like to do. But I'm going to create the content that I want to create because somebody out there is going to want to watch my videos. And I don't have to stress about it because I got into this as an outlet for creativity, not a way to make money. And I was starting to look at it that way. And although that would be nice for an eventuality to be able to end up making money on my YouTube channel, to have another source of income, which would be great. But as of right now, I'm doing it for fun. I want to enjoy it. So I've kind of taken a step back and I'm not worrying about posting every week and just slowly working on getting into a routine of filming and posting that's going to work for me. And if I don't post every week, then I don't post every week. And I'm okay with that. I came to that conclusion at the very end of last year. I did notice as the year went on, I got kind of more consistent with working out over the summer, and then I kind of lost it towards the end of the year. But I noticed that as I was working out more and eating more whole foods, I felt better and I felt calmer in any given situation, especially with children, as I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I found that I could get more consistent and more level with my emotions and when I was feeling stressed or feeling frustrated. So I found ways in my new routine of being a mom. I mean, not new because I have, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, but it's such a process and it's such a journey. And as their ages change, so do the way that we do things. And one week it's like this, and then the next week it's like this, and things change all over again as they grow. I noticed that there were things that I could do that made me feel better, to be a better mom and to be less stressed in those situations since I'm with the kids most of the day. So that was really cool to be able to realize that I had more control over it than I felt like I had. I also realized that I'm a pretty busy person. I like to stay busy. I like to be doing things around the house. I like to clean up. I like to tidy up. I like to organize, which is one of the reasons I started my channel. But I like doing that kind of stuff, and that keeps me busy all day. And in that, I have been working on implementing more things to do for myself, like working out or having my coffee in the morning if I feel like it, or eating a certain way, things like that, that I'm just doing a few more things for myself in my routine of cleaning and organizing and tidying up and being a mom and being a homemaker and things like that. But in lieu of that, I've also realized that I want to be able to take the time to love on my family more. Now, I like routines and I like planning and I like things like that, but I also want to be able to go with the flow a little bit more. And so, kind of to lead off of this, my last point for last year was I'm a routine person, but I'm kind of not a routine person. Let me see if I can explain what I mean. So I like routines and I like to plan, but I'm not the kind of person who really has a morning routine for my skincare, for instance, or a morning or an evening routine for my skincare. I have a routine for the kids at night and kind of like the things that we do in order to keep them consistent with that. But I also feel like sometimes I've gotten too caught up in that routine or that plan. And then when it doesn't happen the way that I want, I get frustrated and I get a little irritated about it. And so I noticed that a little bit more about myself last year, that I like my plans and I like my routines, but in the way that I don't have a routine, like my skincare in the morning, for instance, which would be definitely nice if I had that better, I go with the flow a little bit more because I have kids and you kind of have to. And so I'm learning to be a little bit more flexible in that. One of the things I noticed last year about being a routine person but not being a routine person and wanting to be more flexible in my routine. That is my 2021 realizations, and now for my 2022 intentions. First of all, I would like to incorporate more fruits and vegetables in my diet. I do that a lot anyways, but really what I'm talking about is I want to incorporate fruits and vegetables in my diet on the days that I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling a little sluggish, I'm feeling like I don't want to cook for myself. I'm still wanting to implement fruits and vegetables on those days, but be flexible also. I want to find a little bit more balance with that on the days that I am struggling, that I am having a little bit of a hard time, feeling irritated, feeling tired, whatever it might be, and I still want to make an effort to get those fruits and vegetables in for at least 2 of those meals, somehow or another. I do find that I get frustrated or irritated about whatever it might be, and then I don't eat so good. I find things that are a little bit more comfort food that I feel for whatever reason are easier to make than cutting up fruits and vegetables for a salad or a smoothie bowl or something like that. I'm just wanting to incorporate consistently every day more fruits and vegetables and whole foods and making more foods at home, which was something that I kind of intended on last year, but I feel like this year I have a little bit better handle on it now that I'm realizing my emotions when they do change a little bit more than I have in the past. So I feel like I have maybe a little bit more control over it. I feel like there's something I can do about it, I guess, opposed to in the past where I felt like my emotions are just ruling me and I don't have a choice. And I know we always have a choice, but sometimes it's hard to feel like we do. Realizing more and more that I do have a choice about how I act and how I feel and the decisions that I make in those moments of feeling frustrated or irritated. So in kind of a lieu of that, eating more fruits and vegetables, I had kind of talked about it a little bit already, that I want to be more aware of what I'm eating, just day to day. I don't want to overdo it on the caffeine. Not that I do a lot anyways, but I want to be a little bit more aware of that because I have found that you go to Starbucks and then I get the pink drink I like over there, that has caffeine in it. Well, if I have a coffee in the morning, I don't want to double up on the caffeine. I don't need that much caffeine. Our bodies don't even need it at all. But I like to have coffee in the morning sometimes. So I'm wanting to find a balance with that, just more aware of what I'm eating and how much I'm eating, because that is something we have control over. Now, we don't feel like it, and I know that there are people out there who have eating disorders and other things that are going on that make it really hard to do that. And I am blessed to not have had any of those issues, but we all struggle with it. I've had 2 kids, so my weight has fluctuated a lot, and I've learned to adjust a little bit, still have my goals and my plans for like my weight loss journey and things like that, but be able to be more aware of what I'm eating and how I feel and not associate what I eat so much to my emotions and how I'm feeling in that moment. I would also like to get back to working out a bit more consistently. Now, before I had children, I was working and training at a martial arts studio for about 5 years prior to having children, and I was in the studio 5 days a week for probably 3 hours of training a night, and it was great. I loved it. I'm an active person by nature. I used to own a business where I rode people's horses for a living, and I pet sat for people and took care of their animals when they were gone. So I've always been very active. Then when I had kids, that changed. Your first one, some people work out through the whole pregnancy, and I think that's great, but it was just not something that I did. I did a little bit, and then I kind of didn't, and I kind of wish that I would, but hindsight is what it is. And it's okay. It's okay. It's been a journey, and I would not change having children for the world. That was a decision that, my husband and I obviously made, and I would not change that at all. But now, the way that my world is and the things that are going on in my life, I feel like I need to make my working out, whatever that ends up being, a little bit more consistent. And it's okay if I have a day off or I have a rest day, but try to plan it a little bit better than maybe I have in the future, and pushing through the I don't want to do it today, or I'm too tired, or kind of the excuses that we throw at ourselves. And now there are definitely times where we do need to take a rest for one reason or another, and more when you're dealing with pain or you pulled something or injured something or something like that, because it can happen. But I want to be able to work through it so that doesn't happen, and then it's just the soreness that I'm working through and my own emotion of, oh, I don't want to do this today. But I get to do it today. I mean, I have a body that is healthy and that I feel good when I do it. I'm emotionally and mentally more level-headed when I work out consistently, and I want to be able to do that for myself, but also my family. So that's definitely another intention that I want to work on for this year, and I've already kind of set my plan, and so far so good. So beginning of the year has got off to kind of a great start, but it's something I want to make the intention of being more consistent with. I also am making the intention to play more with my kids. Now, my kids at 2 and 4 are very good at independent play, and I feel like I've nurtured that a lot. Their personalities are kind of like that, so that helped a lot, but I don't have to entertain my kids, and I very much appreciate that. But I also want to play with my kids. I want to be there for them because they're not going to be this little forever. So I'm making the intention to find more time during the day, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, when they come and ask, Mom, come play with me, or Mom, come sit with me and watch a little bit of TV, or Mom, come draw with me. I want to make more of an intention to take that 5-10 minutes of time and do that, because they're not going to do that forever. I always enjoyed spending time with my parents growing up, even as I got older, but I know that relationship with them, in playing with them, is what is building my relationship with them as they get older. So I want to make more of an intention to play with them a little bit more, outside, inside, coloring, painting, whatever it might be, and not get so caught up in, well, I have to do all this stuff in the house, because I'm pretty sure 98% of that stuff can wait for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. The last intention that I have on my list is to be able to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. I think that would be really cool. So I'm not stressing about getting a video out every week, although I'm moving in that direction, but I want to have fun with it and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to make it be something I don't want to do. I don't want to make it so stressful like I was at the end of last year that I don't want to do it and that I'm not motivated to do it. So if I have an idea that comes up, I'm gonna write it down and make that intention and try to get that video out to you guys, because I know that I have subscribers that watch, which I very much appreciate. And I got into it for the fun. So I want to make it fun, and I want to create content about things that I enjoy, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. And if there's anything specific that you guys do want, have me make a video on, pop it down in the comments below, and we'll see what we can do about that. That's it for this video. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Now this, like I said in the beginning of the video, is not typical content that I create, but from time to time I would like to do like a Q&A or kind of like a chit chat video or a life update or something like that. Much more organization videos and cleaning videos and my lifestyle and being a mom. That's it for this video. We'll see you guys in another one. Bye.